A lot to get to. We're even going to talk a little bit. I know you know baseball. You love baseball. We're going to do a little World Series talk.
You're going to love my prediction.
And this is great, the World Series, which kicks off tomorrow. We got Thursday Night Football tonight. A lot of stuff going on, so we'll get to that. But let's start here. NFL, and I don't know what it is. I get the respect factor for Patrick Mahomes, and I respect everything he's done in his career. He's won 3 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs. I get all that. But Sean, people have a hard time saying that he's not playing well. He didn't play he didn't play that well last year during the regular season. He won a Super Bowl, so nobody talked about it. This year, he has more interceptions than touchdowns. 6 touchdowns in 6 games, which is mind-boggling. They're like last in red zone efficiency. Just all the numbers across the board. I get the injuries. I get all the other stuff that's going on, but it's still shocking that Daniel Jones has 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and Patrick Mahomes has 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. And so they're playing the Raiders, who are bad, 2-5. Who was the player? Get Rob G. Jack Jones, the cornerback. And you remember they were the ones clowning him before the season. You remember they had
making business decisions.
A Patrick Mahomes doll. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
What was that? They were doing the. I can't remember the. Yeah, right. But who was the puppet? Because he sounds like Kermit the Frog puppet. Because that's kind of his voice a little bit. So they were making fun of him during the offseason. And they said, basically, Jack Jones, nobody should be intimidated by this version of Mahomes. Of Mahomes. They're not intimidated. Listen to the sound, Sean.
Does that kind of help your game, just not having that intimidation by a guy like Mahomes?
No, I ain't intimidated by him. I don't think nobody in this locker room intimidated by him. It's good players all across the league. He a good player, so, we see guys every week, you know what I'm saying? So, we not really, we focus on us more than we are about him, you know what I'm
saying? Sean, obviously you're a player in the NFL. You're not going to be like, oh, yeah, we're scared to death of a quarterback. You don't make it to the NFL feeling like you can't compete, right, or beat somebody. So I get all that. All I'm saying is this version and what's happened this year, I know they're 6-0. The defense has played very well. But he has not played well. What can you acknowledge that? Or is it why are people, it's not a lifetime achievement award when we say he's not playing well. We're talking about the here and now. You want to use reasons why last year is because everybody dropped the ball. They used that excuse, right? This year is because everybody's injured. But when Rice was in there for those, 4 games, he still had 4 picks. So people say, well, you don't have nobody to well, he threw 4 picks then. What do you make of Patrick Mahomes and where he is and what's happened?
I think he's as good as he's ever been. I'm not really sure what size television you're watching these games on, but
what are you talking about? Look at the stats.
Get
an
enhanced, clearer version. You don't have to have the TV with the 2 knobs.
No.
You put the top knob on you, and then the other one's out there. Listen,
you need glasses.
Here's the number that you're overlooking. The 67.9% completion percentage is the highest ever in Patrick Mahomes' career. So he's completing more balls at a rate higher than he ever has.
Where's he throwing them to?
Right. That's the whole issue.
Where's he throwing them to?
Regardless, he's throwing them to Chiefs. Like, here's the issue.
No, he's not. He has 8 interceptions that lead the league. He has 8 interceptions. You can't ignore that, Sean.
Rob, in spite of those 8 bad throws, he's still completing 67%. I'm not a numbers guy. When you watch the tape, what's happened in Kansas City is this. The allocation of resources has been adjusted. Look at their top 6 highest paid guys, Rob. Of course, Mahomes is one, but then you got 2 offensive linemen, a defensive lineman, and a safety mixed in with an over-the-hill Travis Kelce. They put their money into the 2 fronts. They said, Patrick, for at least a year and a half, 2 years, we're going to need you to manage the game and then be great when it matters the most, which he has done. I remember they did take the ball down and win the Super Bowl because of the way Mahomes played. So when he's had to be great, he's been great. Andy Reid has a different team this year. They're winning in a different way. They're playing defense. They're running the ball with Kareem Hunt. Travis Kelce, can we agree he's not necessarily washed up, but he's not the prime Travis Kelce as far as being able to run away from people and make explosive plays. And with Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice being out, they don't have explosive playmakers.
So how do you explain in the AFC Championship game last year they got shut out in the second half?
It happens. You're playing the other best team from your conference.
All right, let's go here, okay? And I'm going to just give you some, because nothing's wrong with my television set, all right?
I think it's broke.
Mahomes and Peyton Manning in 2015 are the only quarterbacks in the last 30 years, the last 30 years, to throw more interceptions than touchdowns while leading their team to a 6-0 start. That was a 39-year-old Manning, had 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions in his 6-0 start. A season that featured him eventually, right, getting benched for Brock Osweiler, and he ended up with winning the Super Bowl with his defense, which Patrick Mahomes has a really good defense as well. My point is, you can't sit here and act like nothing's happened to Patrick Mahomes, or he's just playing the same, or I'm just going to look at his completion percentage and not. And here's the other thing that people kill me with. Well, that interception wasn't his. There have been plenty of balls that Patrick Mahomes has thrown to people that they've dropped, and they don't keep a stat or they don't talk about how many potential interceptions there could have been. Matthew Stafford in the Super Bowl threw a ball right to a defender. And people don't talk about that. Do they count that stat?
Let me ask you a question. Do the Chiefs have a skill player right now available who you think is in the top 5 of their position?
No, it doesn't matter. I've always been told that Patrick Mahomes is that great that he makes the people around him better.
They're 6-0, Rob.
That he makes the people around. It ain't because of Patrick Mahomes, though. You're kidding yourself.
That's why
you're kidding yourself.
Your opinion is based in quicksand. It's going to sink, and you're not going to be able to re-elevate yourself. Listen, they're undefeated without all these guys. Dude, without Patrick Mahomes, they'd be 3-3.
I saw the Pittsburgh Steelers go 10-0 or 9-0 a few years ago. It was the worst 10-0 team I ever saw.
You don't watch the Chiefs and think they're a bad team.
They went to the playoffs. You remember that? They were 9 or 10-0. They started the year, and then they went to the playoffs right against Baker Mayfield and the Browns and got annihilated. You remember that? Do you remember that year?
I know how I felt when I watched that Steelers team.
And what do you think back then when they were winning all those games?
I said, but they have major deficiencies.
Okay,
they're going to show up.
Okay.
When you watch the Chiefs right now, you know what you think? Man, they're a damn good team. Andy Reid got these boys winning. Imagine when they do.
No, I don't.
No. Imagine when they get Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice, and now they added DeAndre Hopkins to this mix, and they're going to get Isaiah Pacheco back. Imagine when they get all these guys back, Rob. Now when you throw the ball in the flat, it's not to Justin Watson or Noah, Jonah, I forget Noah's name. Sorry, bro. You're throwing it to Rashee Rice now. You're throwing it to Hollywood Brown now. That makes a difference.
Has Patrick Mahomes played well this season?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Unequivocally,
our conversation's
yes.
over. Our conversation.
Because you don't know quarterback play.
No, you don't know
football,
quarterback play.
You know football just a little bit. You don't know quarterback play.
You don't know quarterback play, and I'm going to show you that later on when we talk in hour number 3. I know you played in the league. I know you played in the league.
There's not one
I'm going to tell you something.
Franchise in the National Football League right now who would not trade their current starter for Patrick Mahomes.
That's not the question.
That's
not the question.
No, you said
is he
Patrick
playing
Mahomes,
well now? Is he playing well? No, he's not.
Yes, you said, is he living on his past? No.
And we had Greg Jennings, who played in the National Football League, who won a Super Bowl, played with Aaron Rodgers, sat across from us and told us that Daniel Jones was a top 10 quarterback, okay? So you can sit here.
When did he say that? When he's coming out of Duke?
No.
A
couple years ago. Yes, he did.
Yeah, come on, Greg.
Okay, no, my point is he played in the league, played with Aaron Rodgers.
They're probably friends,
won a Super Bowl.
No, they're probably friends.
And
they probably live in the same neighborhood.
He came back now. Now it's like Daniel Jones is dead to him. But I'm just trying to tell you, I'm not buying that because you played in the league or because you were a quarterback. I'm just saying.
Say that.
And the same thing when Chris and I.
Because I'm better at baseball than you are, too. And
okay,
baseball.
we'll do that. Chris and I jumped on Greg Jennings for that at that time.
As you should have.
We did, because we were like, dude, what are you watching? And we respect your ability that you played, and you have that over me, but I don't see the same Patrick Mahomes.
The offseason, Daniel Jones got paid. He threw for 15 touchdown passes that regular season and got $100+ million.
I know he had 15 touchdowns in 17 games, right?
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I don't know what Greg was talking about. Shout
No
out to
doubt.
Greg.
Oh, yeah. We love Greg. He was just dead wrong like you are. All right.